What's up, guys? Jason at Kaiser Willys again, talking about the turn signal switch, but this is the other style. I was able to come across one that didn't have that black with blue tracer. I've got my little tester board here, so we've got rear tail lights, and we've got our front marker lights. We've got power. We've got our ignition switch is turned in the on position, so I'll turn it off. You can see that the pilot light is lit. So I just turn it back on. So we've got power to the unit. I know this is all pretty jumbled up. So you've got your color wires going to your, so you got yellow right here going to front left, and then you've got green going to front right. Then we've got orange to rear left, got brown to rear right. We've got our ground. This is just grounding because these would be grounding at the frame and these would be grounding at the frame. So all of my yellows I have attached to a ground going to our battery supply. So disregard most of the mess here. All of this is covered up within the channels of the actual body frame and all that kind of stuff. Now, the other colors that I have not discussed, red, this goes to your brake light switch. And that is operated when, for power leading back here, when your brake lights are either applied or if you have your headlights on and you're having running lights going. So that's why this is not linked to anything. I've got my blue wire to the center post on the flasher right here. That's the pilot. That's what's going to illuminate right here. We've got a power source right here on the flasher, which is leading back to our ignition switch on the ACC terminal, so that they only come on or can only be used when it's in the run position. The other side is our black right here, which goes to the switch. So that's all of our wires. Now, in the past, there's two ways to do this. So when you don't have that black wire with purple tracer, usually that means that this is an aluminum housing. So it's a metal housing. It's going to be grounding itself to the steering column. Now, these are universal kits. I have found that the ground is not as responsive to the type of steering column hookup with the CJs and old Jeeps that we deal with. So one of two things can occur. The easy, the quick and not having to do anything extra method is disconnect the blue wire from your flasher and leave pilot open and take that and ground it. If you do that, you will not have the indicators here, which is not a crazy problem. I have that on my 2A. These don't operate for me. It is what it is. If that's the quick and dirty way you want to do it, then do it. Now, let's say you do want the indicators. My suggestion is get an extra tag wire. And because this is an aluminum housing, on this clamp, get like a little spade connection, because this is not a regular bolt that pulls out. Get a little spade connection on a wire, and this is 16 gauge, 18 gauge is fine, it doesn't matter. And slip it underneath the head here so that when you tighten this to the column, you have aluminum housing to metal clamp to a wire, which is leading back to a ground by the body. You do this one wire, you now have this operating, blue is on pilot, and you've got your ground directed here. You can run this ground from that clamp down the column, link it in with the rest of your wiring so it's nice and clean, and then tape it off, and now you have a direct ground to the unit. So I hope that helps. You've seen both styles that you get. The one with black and purple tracer, I believe, is actually going to be a plastic unit versus the aluminum housing, and that's why they have that separate ground, because they're assuming that this is going to ground to the column that it's being applied to, which again could be sketchy on the Willys through the column. So having a direct ground is always going to be the best way. Let's see it operate. We've got our pilot light on. If I try to make a left-hand turn, It's going to notify us that we've got a left-hand turn, left-hand marker light, left-hand tail light. We come back to center, turns off. We're going to make a right-hand turn. So now we've got that going in that direction. Right-hand bulb, right-hand bulb, come back to center. All right, the last thing to do is pull our hazards. You can see it's flashing. Both are flashing. Both are flashing. And then in order to get this to go off, just flip it to any turn signal position and come back to center, and everything's off. So again, turn signals, if you have questions, please give us a call. We can direct you to these 2 videos of how to wire this up by the 2 different ones that we get. Sometimes we don't have control over what gets sent to us from the supplier, but that is the wiring. And again, I know this is all really confusing, and I hope I did it well enough, but you can find the install instructions directly on our website under both of these part numbers. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this clears up the 2 different turn signal switches that Kaiser Willys offers. See you on the next video.